It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
It's game time in Boston as the crowds look to cheer on the Celtics. Glad to have you with us for more NBA action. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. And, of course, Nerlens Noel. Since he's out of the picture, the team will have to fill his shoes.
Well, Kevin, no question it's a risky deal to make because you can sometimes sour your fans when you do that. I mean, trading one of the most popular players on the team is always high risk, no matter what you get in return.
Yeah, but it's a trade that I'm sure a lot of fans will second guess. Clearly a bold move, but as a GM, these are the things that are supposed to happen. You're going to bring scrutiny, and you just have to wait and see how this plays out. You have to focus on the big picture and what's going to be best for your organization moving forward.
All right, let's set the floor courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. So on the floor for Philadelphia, they've got Martin. Sanders is out there with Okafor. Then there's Isaiah Cannon, and it's Covington in at the 3. Martin goes in, and he goes in for the dunk.
I mean, it's just fun to sit back and enjoy watching him operate. And that's what it looked like the D was doing as well. They're just sitting back and watching.
The 76ers struggled last year, but it was mostly due to their offensive issues, Greg. At times, they could be okay on defense.
No doubt, Kevin. They've got a good group of rim protectors, and they also knew how to force turnovers, but they have got to improve offensively.
Okafor dishes to Sanders. Another shot, and he lays it up and in.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
First quarter, just over a minute played.
Yeah, you know, Philly would finish right in the middle of the pack in terms of defensive rankings. They knew how to make stops, and they've got some good defenders, too, so not surprised they were fairly solid defensively.
Yeah, slow start right now. 5 straight misses to get this one going.
Here's Martin. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him. Martin's got his second basket of the night.
And when the size advantage is as big as it was there, I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to do in that situation.
Bradley against Martin. And it's Bradley off the drive. And that one comes up a bit short.
And the big thing that stuck out for me for the Sixers, their turnovers forced. I mean, 2nd in the league in steals per game, 4th in the league in blocks.
4 or 5 shots have dropped for them already. Not a bad way to get things started.
Shot clock at 5. To stop the run, and the jumper is on the mark.
And now that the seal is broken, maybe their shooting will start to improve.
Yeah, I don't think they really wanted to have as cold a start as they did, but maybe that'll break the ice and they'll move forward in fine fashion from here.
Ball's knocked loose, stolen by Thomas. Outside Turner. Kicks it to Thomas. Passes it to Urepko. 5 to shoot. And it's off from 3-point range. Philadelphia leading by 7. And it's Martin penetrating. Pass to Sanders. And Thomas over to help. And Sanders kicks to Covington. Back to Sanders. The 10-footer. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good.
So far, so good for them at the offensive end here in the early going.
Yeah, the great field goal percentage to start, exactly what they were hoping for.
Here's your Repco. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. Here's Bradley. Martin with the block. The feed to Zeller. Here's Bradley. It's good from long range. Bradley's got 5 points so far.
Man, that is not an easy shot right there. I mean, he had to get it off over a much taller defender.
Yeah, he needed to add just a little more loft on that one because of the size mismatch, and he did it perfectly. Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim.
Pick by Zeller. Outside Thomas. He feeds it to Urepko. Pick by Zeller. And Thomas, here we go. No one near Turner as he lets it go. Offline with his three. And how thrilled must have Evan Turner been last season to get a second chance. Clark with the boost in minutes, the confidence, and the coaching staff. His game almost just changed overnight.
Yeah, he's a guy who needs the basketball. He's such a good, solid playmaker and has excellent size. Never had a chance in Indiana to really handle the ball and play to his strengths because of Paul George and Lance Stevenson, but he found a nice niche in Boston.
Well, you know what he can do after watching him for so many years with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, he's terrific. Good basketball IQ, too.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Olenek, he's checked in for Zeller. He comes in for Urepko. Perry Jones, he's checked in for Evan Turner. And Jake Crowder's subbed in for Avery Bradley. Here's Rote following the bucket by the Celtics. Covington kicks to Landry. There's a good screen. Now the dish to Covington. On the wing, Thompson. And again, it's Philadelphia.
And boy, did Evan Turner make the most of his second chance last season. Played with more focus, huge minutes for him with the Celtics. He may have found a home.
And Tony Roten gets the whistle there. That's his first foul. Jakar Sampson's checked in for Robert Covington.
Now into the lineup, the 76ers.
There's 39 seconds left here in the first quarter. Outside, Jones. Shot clock at 6. Stolen by Landry. All by himself. Here's Sampson. And Boston with the rebound. They're coming into this game off that recent loss to Atlanta.
Just looking at the stat sheet, they gave far too many free throws away in that game. Maybe it was the noise in the building or something, but they really looked rattled.
Well, Greg, I don't know if it was the biggest reason for that loss, but all of those misses from the stripe clearly had an impact on that game. Well, that's an excellent challenge right there. Good job contesting that shot by the defender.
Domination in the first quarter. It's been pretty lopsided. 76ers lead by...
Here we go, Boston. Now coming on the court.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. What stands out to you guys from the 76ers in this one?
Just the start they're looking for in this game. Solid offensively through the first.
Very crisp and sharp, not much stagnation at all on offense.
So to begin the second quarter for the Philadelphia 76ers, they've got Carl Landry, Tony Roten out there with Hollis Thompson. Then there's Embiid and it's Sampson in at the small forward position. Embiid kicks to Thompson. Bradley with some nice D. So for the 76ers, their last game, a win against the Timberwolves at Target Center.
And if you look at the numbers, guys, I mean, what jumps out at you is the balance they had offensively.
Very satisfying road win because you're right. There was tremendous balance displayed. I mean, the crowd was basically stunned at how they were able to dismantle that defense.
Now here's Roten, following the miss by Avery Bradley. Landry, a screen on Turner. Roten, the pass to Landry. Here's Embiid, and it's good. Fought through contact, it's the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
Hit. One shot.
Boston took a lot of steps forward last season with their coach, Brad Stevens. Still, though, their defense was near the middle of the road. That will need some tweaking.
Yeah, and you could say that seemed to be the limiting factor, Kevin, in how far they eventually went. Strange, given how several years ago they were an offensive juggernaut.
The Celtics making a switch here. Johnson's checked in. And the 76ers will go for a different look here. Larry Sanders is checked in for Landry. Robert Covington comes in for Jakar Sampson. Martin's checked in for Thompson. And it's Isaiah Cannon in for Tony Roten. Now here's Bradley. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Hawks in Atlanta. And so it looks like the Celtics will retain possession here. Zeller, he's checked in for Lee. The 76ers also with a sub. Okafor's checked in.
Yeah, you know, for the Celtics and their defense, a lot of it had to do with rim protection and challenging shots. They were actually last in the league in blocks.
Here's Turner. Had a chance there to cut it to single digits, but it's off target. The 76ers leading by 12.
Yeah, and the Celtics averaged under 4 blocks a game last season, but blocks aren't the whole story. They let opponents get too many easy looks inside the paint. That's the real factor why their defense was subpar.
Sanders' shot is good.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
And Greg, you know nothing makes a coach happier than selflessness on the basketball court.
Now here's Crowder. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Nice job coming off that screen.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Here's Okafor. The Celtics really seemed to get better as last season wore on, too. GA finished the year looking very dangerous.
And Kevin, with the Celtics, they were dynamite after the All-Star break. Had the second best record in the Eastern Conference post-All-Star.
Jerebko's checked in for Boston. Bradley, no one around him. From outside, off the mark.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
Puts it up from 17. Sanders' shot is off. Celtics trail by 11. And it's Bradley. That time on the assist by Turner. 7 points for Avery Bradley.
He's obviously hit a bit of a dry spell here, only 1 of 5 this quarter. And Evan Turner's one of those guys, he just gives you a little bit of everything. I mean, he can play multiple positions, handles the ball, he can pass it, shoot it. Kind of a Swiss Army jackknife who uses multiple tools to his advantage.
Now here is Martin. A 17-point game for him in the win against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis. And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2. Great for Evan Turner. The one area where he can still develop in a big way is with the jump shot. Clark, 28% from 3 last season. Really is not going to make it.
Yeah, that's been the one stain on his game, the lack of that deep shooting ability, but everything else he can do. He can handle, he passes, he rebounds, but to be an elite player, he's got to be able to knock down that 3-ball better. Boy, they're knocking down the long-range shots. A lot of those same shots they missed earlier in the first quarter. They still find themselves down here, but they're starting to make some headway into that deficit.
And, yep, that's going to be a flagrant foul. Unnecessary contact.
Boy, a very hard foul that time, and the officials had to slap him with the flagrant. I mean, you can't let him get away with that kind of contact.
Yeah, gee, that's an easy call for the officials to make when there's that much contact. The league is really cracking down on those sort of plays. Here in the second quarter, just under 3.5 minutes played. Count it, and the Philadelphia lead has been cut to just 1 on the basket from Jerebko.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
Martin wide open. He fires. Okafor dishes to Martin. That doesn't go either for Martin.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
Foul called that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Taking a look at Avery Bradley, his career's been kind of up and down. Greg started out in high school where he developed into one of the nation's top prospects.
You know, it's a great point. And as a college freshman, really established himself as one of the top defensive guards in the country, won numerous awards, then enters the draft after only 1 year.
And the Celtics making a change here. Jones is checked in, and Philadelphia calls time here.
You know, with Avery Bradley, he was the 19th pick in the draft for the Celtics. The outlook for him was great, but then ball handling and shooting, injury concerns flattened out his development. He had a hard time getting over the hump for a few years, but he's over it now.
Fast break, here they come. Here's Thomas. The shot drops. His shooting percentage improves. He's 3 for 7 now with that basket. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for Boston.
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
Yeah, and one thing, Clark, I've noticed is how quick their hands have been tonight. Thanks to that, they've gotten a lot of points off of turnover. And, you know, getting back to Avery Bradley, he's been dynamite the last 2 years. He's finally found consistency with the mid-range jumper and plays a complete game of basketball. With just a little more seasoning, I really feel like the sky's the limit.
Well, guys, once again, the 76ers finished second to last in the East. Amazingly managed to win fewer games against the East than they did the year before, which was 14 wins in 2014.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Kelly Olynyk's checked in for Zeller. And David Lee is subbed in for Urebko. And Philadelphia will go for a different look here. Carl Landry's checked in for Okafor. J.Gar Sampson comes in for Robert Covington. Thompson, he's checked in for Kevin Martin. And Roten subbed in for Isaiah Cannon. One thing, Greg, about Philadelphia, you talked about this. Only 12 wins for them last year against the East.
And Kevin, how about not getting a win against their own conference until December? I mean, as bad as the Sixers were last year, though, they weren't the worst. So sometimes, even for me, I still can't fathom that's the case.
And Philadelphia making a change here. Embiid's checked in. Boston again missing.
And they haven't been able to turn it into a big lead, but their rebounding advantage is starting to add up.
Yeah, still close, but with their tough play on the boards, we're certainly seeing the effort.
Here's Roten, and Kelly Olynyk is going to pick up the foul.
Another foul would give him 3 before the half. Something to keep an eye on, guys.
Oh, guys, what a nice surprise Tony Roten was last season, especially effective taking over at the point, Clark, with Michael Carter-Williams gone.
Yeah, Roten put up a career-high 5 assists per game and really worked hard at the defensive end as well. He's one of the few talents on the Sixers roster that hadn't been traded away.
Jones kicks to Lee. Nice ball movement by Boston. Olynyk sinks that one from the post. Olynyk's got the game tied up here for the Celtics. For Philadelphia, they've gone 3 of 7 shooting the ball here in the second quarter. Now 8 seconds separating the 2 clocks. Out to Thompson. This is to Roten. Clock at 6. And the powerful one-handed slam.
And really, he epitomizes what a point guard should be. I mean, his skills as a passer might actually be matched by that creativity he shows around the rim.
Well, judging by that jam, Greg, I'd say you're absolutely right.
Boy, that's a nice surge for them just when they needed it in a game that...
And we're through
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We welcome you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Right out of the gates, it was Philadelphia setting the tone. They went to work early at both ends of the floor, going on a 9-0 run to jump out in front. After a solid quarter of play, they held a 10-point lead. Then in the second quarter, the steam was let out of their hot air balloon as they were outscored and outplayed, but they still cling to a 2-point advantage at the half. And from what we saw so far from the Sixers, Kenny, what's your takeaway?
Well, quite simply, their bench showed up tonight. And when I say showed up, I'm talking about on the offensive end because they were scoring in bunches. Now, you want your reserves to just at least come in and hold the fort, but they did way more than that tonight.
And Shaq, what are your thoughts on Boston?
I really like how they limited turnovers. You know, they didn't play it too safe. They made some really nice passes. When you can play like this and cut back turnovers, it can add up to over 10, 8, 12, 15, 16 easy points, Ernie. I don't know how many points, a lot of easy points. They'll be in good shape if they can keep making the same smart plays.
And that's going to do it for now as the second half is almost ready to get started. Back to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. We're going to sit right here and wait for the end of the game and talk at you again.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far.
Larry Sanders just has not slowed down.
10 points and 2 rejections.
Bradley and Turner filling out the perimeter. Tyler Zeller out there with Yarebko, and it's Thomas in at the 1. That's who's in the game for the Celtics. Here's Yarebko. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. Yarebko's got the first basket of the second half. That one for Boston. 76ers trailing. Here's Cannon. Hit his leg. And the ref's whistling a kick ball. Down low, here's Martin. Here's Okafor, and he sinks that one, hitting the back of the rim on the way in. And the 76ers lead by 1. Outside Thomas. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there, and a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen.
Cannon, the pass to Okafor. Out to the right wing. The pass to Martin. It's tipped. Bradley on the double team. It's Martin on the wing. He's covered by Zeller. 4 on the shot clock. Here's Sanders. And the 76ers tack on 2 more.
I mean, he was great in his last game, Clark, and clearly he has not lost that love and feeling. You know what? I think he thinks he can make a few improvements to how things are going on right now.
Yeah, and you know, coaches always are looking for ways to tweak things and change it up a little bit, no matter what the situation is. That's what coaches do.
The 76ers didn't lie to themselves about last season, Greg. They knew they weren't going to be in the playoffs. They spent a lot of time last season developing their young players.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, the 3rd straight year the Sixers would miss the playoffs. But as you said, Kevin, they knew what the season had in store. The key was, could they keep those young guys focused on growth and experience and not get caught up in the fact that they struggled to win games.
Outside Thomas. He dishes it to Yarebko. Boston again missing. The 76ers lead.
And it's clear for the Sixers, the plan has been to continue to add good young players. Eventually, I think they'll be a force in the East. There's no guarantee, but they've got a plan and they're sticking to it.
Martin dishes to Okafor. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Okafor's got his 2nd bucket of the game to go. Boston's gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Thomas kicks to Yarebko. Just over 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second half. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Pulls it from 20. Martin with the block. Now here's Sanders. He's got 12. That one is good again. He's 6 for 8 from the floor with the basket.
A lot of teams that win a title often have a former #1 pick leading the way, or at least a top 3 NBA draft pick as their leader. So the 76ers are trying a shotgun approach to that, trying to get as many top 3 picks as they can, hoping one turns into the next superstar.
That's good. The Philadelphia lead is cut down to 4 again on the bucket from Thomas.
Uh-oh, a little showboating at the end of that one. And guys, as much as Isaiah Thomas can help you on offense, at times he can hurt you on the defensive side. Immediately posted up by whomever he's guarding, you have to give help. And of course, that leaves your defense vulnerable, particularly on the weak side and controlling that defensive backcourt.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Lee's checked in for Tyler Zeller. Johnson comes in for Turner. And it's Crowder in for Avery Bradley. Martin kicks to Sanders. 76ers moving the ball around. And here's Covington from the arc. Rebound Boston. Greg, you talked about Isaiah Thomas before. Certainly his short stature limits him on Clark, the defensive side.
Yeah, but you know what? He doesn't rack up a ton of steals, given his instincts and quickness. I think he really focuses on making his impact at the offensive end.
Just not much success when it comes to shooting.
And the call will be against David Lee. That's his first foul.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
Yeah, but in this case, I think he got it right. I mean, the defender was still moving there and never really had good legal guarding position. He wasn't set.
Jones checked in for Urebko. Then for the 76ers, Landry comes in for Sanders. And Jakar Sampson subbed in for Robert Covington. Martin for three. The shot no good. Now Boston takes it the other way. Home court didn't seem to help any last time they met. We'll see if it makes a difference this time.
And really a resounding loss the last time they matched up. They got absolutely manhandled on the boards.
And Greg, you know how it is. At some point, you've just got to man up and play with a lot more aggressiveness and toughness and pride inside. He's played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without him, they may not be in the lead.
Now here's Thomas. He's covered by Roten. And Thomas, here we go. Here's Lee. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That one on Embiid.
And David Lee missing time early last season with that hamstring injury also opened the door up for Draymond Green to kind of take that starting power forward role. And give Lee credit, though. Didn't sulk. Just threw himself into his new role as a super sub.
Olynyk, he's checked in for Boston. Hollis Thompson's checked in for Philadelphia. Landry with a screen for Martin. And the 76ers get it back. Landry with the screen. It's Martin again for three. Martin's got 6 points in the quarter.
I think they're trying to go for the kill here. I mean, they're starting to take a lot more three-point shots than they had been before, looking to run away.
And as long as you keep getting quality looks, the coaches should have no complaints. Play with confidence.
That's good.
And you know what? One of the few bright spots in this game for them today. He's kept his edge even though they've been trailing.
Roten kicks to Thompson. Embiid with a screen on Johnson. Embiid sets the pick for Thompson. Left side, Martin. The 76ers need to get off a shot. That one a little long. Crowder. The shot misses. All right, the fourth quarter of action getting underway. We've had a great one so far with both sides coming to play. Philadelphia leading by 5. So on the floor for Philadelphia, we got Robert Covington, Tony Roten out there with Isaiah Cannon. Then it's Sanders, and it's Okafor in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And it's Bradley off the drive. Roten with it. Out to the wing. 5 on the clock. Now here's Sanders. D right on him. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. Celtics trail by 5. Bradley passes to Zeller. To the middle. Here's Urebko. And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
And the basket by Olynyk. We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. Here's Cannon. He kicks to Sanders. Pass to Covington. This one for 3. That drops. And the 76ers lead by 4.
They're relying on their three-point shooting and getting pretty good results right now.
You're right. 3 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
One of the stories here, Larry Sanders really getting it done today.
He's really taking it to him inside. They got to find a way to slow him down.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Hey guys, well, Brad Stevens had some advice for the team over that last break. He let his players know that they've got to do a better job on defense. He said they're scoring any way they want. We've got to show some pride here. Let's make a stand defensively, get us stops, and get on a run of our own. Do they have it in them, Kevin?
That's tipped. Just over a minute and a half played here in the fourth. They set the pick in the foul on Avery Bradley. That's his third foul of the game.
That's his third personal foul. Timeout for the 76ers.
Timeout called the 76ers.
They've been committing a lot of turnovers, and I imagine that's exactly what they're talking about right now. They need to tighten it up.
On defense, Boston trailing by 4 in the foul on Avery Bradley. That will get him his fourth foul of the game.
And that fourth foul, guys, might force him to scale back the aggression from a defensive standpoint. He does not need, nor does the team need, number 5.
And Sanders, here we go. That's good. And it's a 6-point 76ers lead.
And such a steady hand. I mean, he's one of those guys that's really allowed them to take the lead.
Well, he's just so reliable and dependable and consistent, especially here today. I mean, his shooting percentage is off the charts.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Hi, guys. Over that break, I was able to catch the message Brad Stevens was giving to his team. The strategy included running the offense through Thomas. Coach has a lot of faith in him offensively and let his players know it, insisting that he be at the forefront of what they do at that end of the court from here on out. So Coach waiting until the final stages to pull a few tricks out of his sleeve. Kevin, let's see if he's made a wise decision.
All right, Doris, outside Bradley. 6 on the shot clock. Oh, trying for it. And stolen by Roten. Here's Sanders. Good for the basket, number 9. He's only missed 2 shots from the floor all night.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
Right side, Thomas. 4 on the shot clock. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Guys, that's putting it mildly. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant.
Feeds it to Roten. Back to Sanders. Lets it go from the wing. Tries again. Kicks to Covington. Uncovered. And the shot is good. And the 76ers lead by 12. Well, for the Celtics, this one not looking good. Outside Thomas. And Jerebko has it in the corner. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. Thomas got 4 assists now tonight.
No 3-pointers for him in that first half, but the second half, different story. I'm not even going to comment on that one.
Neither am I. I mean, if you're going to attempt a buzzer beater, I guess I will comment. Make sure there's actually a buzzer to beat.
Zeller setting the pick for Brandon. Stolen. And now Philadelphia on the break. And Cannon gets it to go. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for Philadelphia.
Defensively, they played with a lot of energy, and the steals we've seen are a result of that aggressiveness.
You know, adding on to that, you look at their block totals tonight, and you see how feisty they've been on the defensive end this game.
And the refs are going to rule that unnecessary contact. It's a flagrant 1 foul.
And Kevin, I got to tell you, he's probably fortunate to just get a flagrant 1 there. I mean, so much contact. The officials easily could have gone even harder on him.
Greg, I agree. He'd better be on his best behavior from now on. 1 more flagrant of any variety, and he's out of here.
Looking at the numbers for Jonas Jerebko, He has 12 points, and he's picked up 6 points from behind the arc.
I love the rhythm his outside stroke has produced today.
The Celtics making a switch here. Lee's checked in. The 76ers also with a sub. Martin's checked in for Tony Wroten. Thomas up top. Kicks it to Bradley. It's hauled in by the 76ers. Okafor's got 5 rebounds tonight.
And they hold a huge advantage on the backboards.
Greg, and that's been the key to this lead. I mean, they've really dominated the glass.
And it's Martin missing.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Here's Turner. Picked away. Outside Martin. From downtown. They get it back. Okafor dishes to Cannon. Outside Martin. Power down with both hands.
Well, guys, they came in here and really took charge from the opening tip. This is such a tough thing to do for a visiting team. This contest was played on their terms.
And, you know, that's not the way it usually works in the NBA. It's going to be a great win, and you know it's going to be a happy plane ride out of here for sure.
Thomas against Sanders. Turner comes with the double team. Now here's Sanders. Defense is right there. From 13 feet, it goes down. And the 76ers lead by 13. And here is Thomas. And now they decide to foul intentionally.
Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
Yeah, yeah, completely a brain fade. I don't know where that came from. Just lost sense of time and the situation.
And that's an intentional foul.
That's his second personal foul.
And that one falls for Olynyk.
At the line for the Celtics, Kelly Olynyk.
And so Olynyk nails both of them. Five seconds left in the game. Thompson for 3. It's off. So it's Philadelphia winning this one easily. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin, how about the mental toughness that this group showed? They were never rattled at all by the opposing fans.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Clark, Craig, and Dorse, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. And now time to go to Ernie Johnson, who's alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Kevin, much appreciated. And now let's move on to our Jordan Player of the Game. He was the engine that drove this team the whole night, and his teammates had no problem harnessing the power of that motor.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
There was nothing they could do to slow him down, Ernie. Man, you go into a building on the road and completely control the action like he did. Only a few players could do that, Ernie. I'm impressed.
And folks, that's it for us. Thank you for tuning in. Always a pleasure. For Kenny the Jet Smith, for Shaquille O'Neal, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a great night.